Ever stop to think how much those little impulse buys on your phone are adding up to, and how many subscription payments are sneaking out of your bank account every single month? Before I started using Rocket Money, let me tell you, I had no idea. But the first time I logged in, I saved $435. I couldn't believe it. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I just love the dashboard. It shows everything in one place, even the subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. And if there's something you don't need, Rocket Money helps you cancel it. Plus, it alerts you if a bill increases or if something unusual pops up in your account. It's basically like having a personal assistant for your money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Kim today. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of May 18th, 2024. Thank you for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's hour one.
I always like to start the show with something super interesting, and a big event happened this past week. Mark Zuckerberg, he turned 40 years old. That's right. And get this, Mark Zuckerberg's first apartment was so bare, he had a mattress on the floor and he stayed there until Facebook got to 100 million users. Today, his net worth is around, let's just say $164 billion. Oh my gosh. All that, and he still just can't figure out how to stop pedophiles from DMing young girls on Instagram. Such a shame, isn't it? Such a shame. Hey, listen, we have a big show coming up, and you don't want to miss a moment. And you better have your thinking cap on, because I've got a lot to cover, and I want you to pay attention because this is really important stuff. And on that happy note, welcome, everyone. I'm Kim Komando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. It's the biggest show. It's the best show. Let me just tell you, it's the award-winning show. It's everything, every single thing that you need to know about tech, I'm going to be passing along, because after all, you can find me on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. And we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 American servicemen and women in 175 different countries and 200 ships at sea get the Kim Komando Show. I just love that. Now, let me tell you, great sponsors help to make this show possible, and I always negotiate a money-saving deal with them. So to see all the deals and get all the special links, you just need to go to one spot. That's komando.com/sponsors. All right, just for you, dear listener, I check out 35 different websites every single day to make sure that you and I are both up to date on all things digital. Now, usually I start the show with the top 5 things that you need to know about tech that's happening right now. But let me tell you, the top 5 things are all about AI, artificial intelligence. This is a monumental time in human history, and I don't know if you guys and gals really get the gist of what's going on. It's super complicated, but I really need to drill down into how AI is going to impact your life and the lives of generations to come. And I want to start by taking us back to 2007. What happened? Steve Jobs came out with the first iPhone. And it only had 4 gigs of storage, but it was just crazy. It was so much different than a Motorola Razr phone or a Nokia. And that 4 gigs of storage in high resolution could hold just over 1,000 photos. And everybody went, wow, that is something else. Okay, I took a look at my iPhone 15 earlier, and I have 512 gigs of storage. How many photos is that? That's over 132,000 photos on my phone. Okay. So I want you to think of ChatGPT the same way. It's in its infancy. You know, since it came out, it pretty much stayed the same way. You could ask it a few questions, you would get some answers, it would hallucinate, you'd have to do some fact checking. And it all changed this past week, because what OpenAI has done has taken everything that they've created and then just propelled it to a whole new level. You know, let me tell you, Google, Microsoft, Apple, and all the others are just shaking in their boots. I mean, I would not want to be in charge of those companies right now. You see, what OpenAI has created is not a person, but a thing who knows who you are, what you're trying to accomplish, what you're feeling, what's going on in your head, seriously. What you said today, what you said 12 months ago, what you said 24 months ago. It's going to help you find whatever you want. It will teach you whatever you want to learn. It's amazing. It's astonishing. It's disarming. It's truly, truly frightening. If you didn't see any of the videos that OpenAI passed along this past week, let me just tell you, it is phenomenal. Like, take this example. Your kid comes to you and says, hey, Mom, Dad, I need help with my algebra. And you're like, oh, man, I'm 10th grade. I didn't even understand algebra. Now you want me to teach you. So you go online, you go to Khan Academy and that website with all the tutorials. And you look at a tutorial about algebra and you're still sitting there going like, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't know. I can't explain it to you. We're going to have to go to school early in the morning. You're going to have to ask your teacher in order to so that this way you know how the algebra works, how to solve the problem. Okay, that's the old way. Take a listen. This is a clip from ChatGPT-4o, and this is artificial intelligence. The female voice is not a person.
Can you first identify which sides of the triangle are the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse relative to angle alpha?
All right, so I'm pretty sure this is the angle alpha right here, right?
Perfect. That's correct. Now, looking at the triangle, which side do you think is the hypotenuse?
Really,
Remember the hypotenuse?
I'm not totally sure. I think it might be this one, but I really am not sure. This side AC.
You're close. Actually, side AC is called the adjacent side to the angle alpha. The hypotenuse is...
Now that is artificial intelligence. That tutor is AI. She's responding to him just like a person. Okay. Another example. We have a guy in his mid-30s, got a brand new puppy. Here's what AI says when it meets the puppy.
I want to introduce you to somebody.
Well, hello there, cutie. What's your name, little fluffball?
This is Bowser.
Well, hello, Bowser. Aren't you just the most adorable little thing?
Yeah.
Look at you enjoy.
This is one of his favorite things to do.
Oh, well, I can see why. Look at that focus. Fetching balls is serious business for Bowser.
It sure is for Bowser and for anybody else. Now, AI's eyes, okay, is a smartphone's camera. The mic, of course, is listening and responding accordingly. Okay. Did you notice the tone? Did you notice the inflection? Did you notice that it felt like a human? And did you notice that it sounded a lot like Scarlett Johansson from the movie Her? And it is. It actually sounds like her. It's not her, but it's the same cadence. It's the same, you'd say tone, I guess, as Scarlett Johansson. Okay. And that's done for a reason. Sam Altman thinks her voice is just amazing and it's very calming. And so this is what OpenAI has created. Think of it as a human who doesn't sleep. It has the world's knowledge at its fingertips, virtual fingertips. Now, if you're in a job, any job, you need to think about how AI is going to impact you. Now, in the next hour of the show, if you're listening on the radio, or the next episode, if you're getting the show as a podcast, we're going to talk about how Google responded the next day with their AI products. And you really, really need to tune into that. All right, coming up, we have some great tips about how you can find anything online. Oh, have you ever wondered if anybody's snooping on your phone when you're asleep? I'm going to tell you how you can figure that out. And we have a secret way to know who's calling without looking at your phone. And of course, we have all of your great phone calls. And you have me, Kim Commando. Hey, I'm giving away a $799 iPhone 15 right now. And you can enter to win by going to privacykim.com. Once again, that's privacykim.com. Enter to win that brand new iPhone 15. You're just going to love it. All right, let's get started with Don in Washington, D.C.
What I was reaching out to you about was translator earbuds. I am familiar with the MK3, the Kettle 3s and all of that. Mm-hmm. But what I'm looking more so of, you have to have, I know you have to have your cell phone with them, but I was also looking for some that works in conjunction, but you could wear them, and when you go into a room or setting or you're talking with someone, it could translate what they're saying right to you without having to give them an earbud or put your cell phone up in their face for them to translate.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. That's how the time kettle works, right?
Yes.
Have you bought them, the time kettles?
I've been looking at them. I did try a particular one, which was the J3 Pro, but that did not work the way I wanted it. And I've since researched out two other types of earbud translators, but they always refer back to the kettles. And when I asked them a specific question to IT or tech people, they'll say, well, I think it does, but no one has a real particular answer. So here we are.
Have you looked at the at Google's Pixel Buds?
I probably have, but when you read the fine print, and I need for it to be able to say it does that, because some of it has so much information, but I just needed for it to say.
Yeah, you're kind of on the cusp of this truly happening. Even with the Pixel Buds, that somebody has to actually speak into the phone. Okay. And then it will translate directly into your ear. Jabra also has a solution, but it's again using the phone to capture the conversation. The reason why I think that we are on the cusp of something that's a lot different than even just the Babelfish earbuds. You might want to look at those. The Babelfish earbuds, it's by a company called Waverly Labs. It just does 15 languages. You wear the earbuds and the translation is done again on the phone. But I think we're on the cusp because just the other day, ChatGPT and OpenAI, they announced that ChatGPT is available in 50 different languages. Okay. What that means is that AI has cracked the language barrier and the code. And so it's just a matter of time before we have those Star Trek devices that will speak in one language and then you'll hear it automatically in a different language. I bet you we are probably less than a year away for what exactly that you're looking for, because right now we're limited by the technology that exists. But having AI crack this language code opens up and it brings down the barrier for so many things, up to and including language translation that just hasn't been possible until now. And with the processing power and the tech that we had available. I mean, Google, it supports 40 languages. The Time Kettle, 40 languages. As I mentioned, this Babelfish earbuds, we're looking at 15 languages and 42 different dialects. That's nothing. Let me tell you, that is nothing for AI to conquer. And I assure you, probably by the end of this year, we're going to see that Star Trek technology available to the average consumer for the price of around $300 for earbuds that doesn't require putting in an earbud and somebody talking into a phone. Real-time translation will be possible and it will be affordable, but we're just not quite there yet. But again, 50 languages for AI to figure out in less than a year and a half. Yeah. Hang on for the ride. Don, thank you for your call. All righty, let's go down to Texas. Deborah in Irving, Texas. Glad to have you with us.
I recently saw a video regarding the Amazon Audible and the app. Said it offers free training in a 4-step process. Is this legitimate, and how to tell if this is legitimate?
What were they telling you needed to do in order to make money?
It was about a 10-minute video just offering information. I really didn't click on the link to find out all the details.
Did they tell you how much money you could make?
It was various amounts. Had a couple of interviews, a quick clip with a couple of people telling what they were making, but it was various amounts.
Well, it's interesting. Did they say like you would have to do voiceover work, or what kind of work would you do?
It did not say, and I did not click on anything inside that video.
Okay. All right. Then it's probably not legit. Because if something's legit, they're going to tell you right up front, normally. But if you want to check things out, I would go to Audible's official website, Amazon's job listings page, and see if there's anything kind of almost that's mentioned. The YouTube channel, whatever their name is that you could, put that into ChatGPT, Perplexity, or just do a plain old Google search and ask if it's legit. And then you may see reviews from various people that maybe have gotten taken by this. You can look at the YouTube comments, but if it's a scam channel, a lot of the YouTube comments are like, oh, this is great. I made $1 million, type of thing. If it's anything about being an affiliate or partner of Audible so that you could make money when people take a look at an audiobook and you're going to get a commission for that, let me tell you something. You're not going to make a lot of money at that. The commission is like 0.0001 cent for every dollar, but you're smart for not clicking the link. Is there something that you want to do?
I was just curious. Once I came across it, I was just curious about it.
Yeah. You know what? You can look at, I would also go to Reddit, Deborah, and there's a lot of forums on Reddit that actually go through various money-making schemes and opportunities and things like that. And so I would just type the name of this channel into Reddit, and I bet you're going to find a lot about it on Reddit now that we're talking. Yeah, but I'd go to Reddit. Hey, speaking of Reddit, Deborah, you might want to check this out too, and thank you for your kind words about the show, is that now there's a subthread Commando. So if you go to Reddit and go to the Commando subreddit, that's where you can meet an entire community of Kim Commando listeners, and people are swapping stories and getting help on tech questions and good things like that. So speaking of Reddit, you might want to check that out. And Deborah, thank you for your call and your kind words. All right, let's just say you just deleted a really important file. You're like, oh, what do I do? How can I get it back? All right, if you're using Windows, you want to take a look at Stellar Data Recovery for PCs. If you're using a Mac, Disk Drill does the same thing. It goes out and tries to find that file. Of course, you're going to check the recycle bin in the trash can, but if it's still not there, that's where these tools come in handy. And in case you need the names of them again, just hit commando.com and search for File Recovery. Stay right where you are. We have more of the show coming up you don't want to miss. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise: home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim. All right, coming up in just a few minutes, if you ever wondered if anyone's been snooping on your phone, right? And while you're asleep, I'm going to give you the signs that you can look for. And before we get to that and all of your phone calls, if you really love this one dress that you ever saw in a photo and you want it, but all you have is the photo, no other information, here's what you can do. Multi-search in Google Lens lets you look up images and text at the same time. So when you plop an image into Google Lens, it uses image recognition technology. It lets you find things online from whatever you see in your phone's camera. It's designed to show you all kinds of relevant information. And to get this nifty function, what you do, head to your Google app and then tap the camera icon next to the search bar. And then take a quick photo of whatever you're looking for, like that red dress or whatever it may be. And just boom, Google's going to pick up and show you similar images. All right, aside from the Kim Commando Show, I host a wildly popular podcast called Kim Commando Today. You can find it wherever you get your podcast, but it gives me a chance to sit down and have a chat with some really interesting people like Zachary Ryan. I mean, imagine rushing to the hospital for an emergency only to find out, oh my gosh, could you imagine that the entire hospital's computer system has crashed? It was taken down by a cyber attack. Well, recently, Ascension, they operate 140 hospitals and 40 senior care centers. They actually fell victim to a cyber attack. Now, this was bad. The hack paralyzed patient records. You couldn't even get a prescription filled. Basically, the whole facility turned into chaos. Doctors and nurses, they were using pen and paper, right? Well, Zach thought his cancer was back, and he went to the ER and listened to what happened. So, Zach, tell us what happened to you at an Ascension hospital during this cyber attack in Michigan.
Well, where do we start? Because there's a lot. Honestly, I went in by ambulance. My wife called 911 that day, and I told them that I did not want to go to Ascension in the first place. I actually wanted to go to a different hospital. I wanted to go to Corewell Health, and since Ascension was the closest hospital,
yeah, they take
that's where we got to start going.
Right.
I was there from 2 p.m. Tuesday to when the cyber attack happened, and then that happened around 7:30 a.m. on Wednesday, and it was absolute chaos, to be honest. Everybody was.
So why did you have to go by ambulance? What were your symptoms? What was going on with you health-wise?
So I was actually rectally bleeding, and also throwing up and vomiting blood.
Oh wow!
So I thought my colon cancer came back, maybe.
Okay.
So that was the reason we went in. After that, I didn't get any medical attention there at all.
Now, you say you didn't get any medical attention. Was it no one was coming in, or they would come in and tell you, we can't do anything for you?
Were you in a room, nobody was paying attention to you?
So at first I was in the hallway for, I would say, 3 hours in the emergency room. Like, I wasn't outside. I wasn't in the waiting room. I was just in the hallway until room opened up. Finally, I seen a doctor maybe, I would say 5 minutes. He came in and checked on me. After that, I didn't see a doctor. He dosed me up with Dilaudid before the cyber attack happened. After that, nothing at all. Didn't see a nurse, didn't see a doctor, didn't see for about 7 hours after that. And then finally I questioned what was going on. And I asked the nurse who ran past me. I'm like, hey, I screamed at her actually and said, what's going on? She's like, well, our computer systems are down right now. So there's nothing that we can possibly do for you until we get prior authorization for to dispense medication that way. And still just sat there and waited in pain.
Wow. When you were in the midst of it, in that 7 hour stretch, did you know it was a cyber attack? Were people talking about what was going on? Other people in the hospital?
No, not at all. You would see the nurses and the doctors, and all of a sudden, tech people. You would see IT people come down and start taking computers, like the rollaway computers the nurses use to when they roll into your room. Absolutely just shocked. And then finally, I asked around, I think it was like 7:45, what the hell is going on right now? And finally the nurse said, well, we had an attack on our system and everything's down. So then you look and you see nurses scrambling to get papers, clipboards.
Oh my gosh.
Start
what a
charting.
nightmare.
I can't believe they waited 7 hours to say, let's go back to the old way we used to do it. You have people like
Zach, how many people were also around you? I mean, it must have been backed up at this point.
At this point, it was backed up. Ambulances were coming in, and the nurses said we have to divert them. Mm-hmm. Also, people were walking out. I tried to wait it out for hours. I think I waited it out 72 hours before I gave up and left.
72 hours?
Yep.
God.
I stayed almost 3 days, and I decided to go to Corewell Health. I took a lift, didn't call my wife because I didn't want to worry her. You know, she's at home with the kids, and I'm just like, let me just grab a lift real quick. I'm not calling her. So then I go there, tell them what was going on at Ascension, and they already knew. So the hospital over there, Corewell, got me right in. Like, right in. They just walked me right to the back to check because I was bleeding so much. Like,
so 3 days later, you're still having all the same symptoms.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. And so when you got there, how long was it for them to diagnose you, treat you, and get you out of there?
5 hours. I was
5
in and out in
hours?
5 hours.
Oh my gosh.
72 hours of nothing, 5
Yep.
hours, and you're out, and you're on your way home.
Because my main doctors are actually from Cornwall Health, and that's where it comes into place where I asked the ambulance to take me to Cornwall
Right.
in the first place, but they're like, no, we're gonna take you to the Ascension.
Yeah, because they have to take you whoever the closest
Yeah.
one is for insurance purposes, and it's
Liability
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
yeah, it's all these things like
I
that.
get it.
So when you were at the Ascension Hospital for 72 hours, super long time, were you in a room at this point? You were no longer in the hallway, right?
I was in a room at this point, and I'm just scratching and fiddling my fingers, like waiting, and then I'm in deep, severe pain at this point.
So you were so they weren't able to give you anything to monitor the pain?
No. So the first thing, when I first went into the hospital, they dosed me up with 1 milligram of Dilaudid. After that, I was knocked out for a few hours. And then the pain started to come back after about 4 hours. I think it worked. And then I was wondering, I asked, the nurse, hey, listen, I'm in pain. My stomach, I'm feeling like I'm about to throw up. Can you give me some nausea, Zofran, whatever you can give me?
Sure.
And at this point, she's like, there's nothing we can do. I don't even know where your doctor is. We're trying to find your doctor.
Boy, and so, but it just shows you how vulnerable we are to a cyber attack.
Because we made ourselves so reliant on everything. Like it took them, with his math, 10 hours to figure out, hey, let's go get a piece of paper and start charting this like nurses and hospitals used to chart.
I wonder, and Zach, you were like boots on the ground. For anybody who's listening and watching right now, if they go to a hospital where somebody mentions cyber attack, would their next stop being, okay, we need to get the heck out of here?
Yeah, 100%. Because right now, here from what I'm still hearing here in Michigan, at least, is that the systems are going to be down for about 2 weeks. That they're paper charting 2 weeks here in Michigan.
So at no point in that 72 hours, no one pulled out a computer for the whole
Nobody
time.
pulled out a computer. There was no computers.
Okay.
No computers whatsoever. So I would say if you hear cyber attack at a hospital, run to the nearest one that you feel comfortable with going to.
Okay, that's just a snippet of our conversation. Now, to get the entire chat, just look up Kim Komando Today wherever you get your podcasts. You're going to love it. And by the way, in case you want to see us do the podcast, we actually do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, which is 2:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Just head over to youtube.com/Kim Komando. That's youtube.com/Kim Komando for the video version, or you can get the audio version wherever you get your podcasts. All right, have you ever wondered if someone's snooping on your phone while you're sleeping? Well, let me tell you, there are a few clever ways you can tell. Now, most smartphones have a built-in way to see how often you're using each app, how much screen time you're racking up, and how many times a day you unlock your phone, right? It's called Screen Time Report. So that's where you want to check. Next, unlock your phone, swipe up, and you're going to see any recently opened apps that maybe the snoop didn't close. Finally, check your phone's browser history. If you use Google Chrome, you can also see your web history from another device, even if the info was wiped away from the phone. And if you're worried about snoops, well, you know what? Change your phone's password. I know. Hey, listen, still to come, your secret way to find out who's been calling without actually looking at your phone. Of course, we have more of your phone calls you don't want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, Mike in Charleston, South Carolina, glad to have you with us.
I had the pleasure of becoming a volunteer for a not-for-profit organization recently. I've stood up a website. We have an online database. We have started doing an online magazine.
Okay.
Digital magazine. And we're trying to embed videos in our magazine, and our viewers can see those. My problem is making the videos.
Oh, no.
I remember the old days of Photoshop and Dreamweaver and all these things, and it seemed like easy tools, but Lord have mercy, trying to find something that's fairly easy and doing the video editing and throwing something together, putting some music in the background.
Listen, I hear you. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It's challenging.
So, how long do you want the videos, and what are the videos going to be about? What's the content of the video? Is it like just a bunch of pictures, or is it somebody talking? Or explain to me a little bit about it.
Well, the organization is Eagle Wings Motorcycle Association, so everything is motorcycle centered and motorcycle safety, and it's family oriented.
Okay.
So the videos are going to be short 3-minute videos that will show, people riding, people going out on rides, people doing different things. We'll do some promos for events that we have coming up. And, one of our examples, we've got a ride-in we're doing in Loveland, Colorado. Mm-hmm. And we've had some people to send us some of their videos from their Garmins or whatever. And we've been able to roll some of that together, at least one of my super troops have. And so we've got some pretty neat videos so they can see the area.
For sure.
That's kind of where we want to go with
now,
that.
Are you using Windows or Macs? Or what are you using?
I'm using Windows. I'm an old Windows head, been since 1986.
Okay, all right. So, so let me tell you about a couple of things. And then we're gonna start at the beginning. Okay, there's a website called Canva, Canva. Very simple drag and drop to create videos. And if you want to edit the videos, not the right place. But if you want to combine text and pictures with some, with maybe some animations or some video of the ride or somebody, the Colorado sunset or whatever it may be, is that may be a nice place for you to start because, again, it's drag and drop. And guess what else? It's free for nonprofits. Okay. Now, if you're on Windows, I would take a look at Adobe Premiere Elements. Again, super easy to use. It allows you to work with multiple video tracks. It's going to let you do a lot more things than Canva. Now it's $100 retail, but again, because you're a non-for-profit, it's $15. Okay. So
cool.
So I would take a look at Adobe Premiere Elements, and then there are like free programs that are really very advanced, like DaVinci Resolve. They actually did that movie, The King's Speech, using it, so it's really high end. And there's also one Kden Live, but both of them have a pretty good learning curve. That sounds like you just want to get in there and get some stuff done, and you don't want to be a video editor and add that to your resume. So I take a look at Canva, again, is free for nonprofits, and then Adobe Premiere Elements. Now, there's a website called, have you ever gone to TechSoup?
Yes.
Okay, so TechSoup.org, that's TechSoup.org. That's where you can get a lot of the stuff, talking about tech stuff, and among other things. At a discount or for free because you are a nonprofit organization. So to get that Adobe Premiere Elements, that's $100 retail, but $15 for nonprofits, that you're going to get it through that TechSoup website. Again, that's TechSoup.org. Mike, thanks you for your call today. You know what? Totally reminds me of that old joke. You ready for it? Don't get mad at me. Don't say, oh, Kim Commando, you just talked about wives and husbands. No. Okay, just listen. The wife asks, why are you watching our wedding video backwards, honey? Why are you watching our wedding video backwards? And the husband says, well, there's a certain part that I really like. It's when I take the ring off your finger, I leave the church, and I go to the bar with my friends. All right. Okay, I heard you laugh. I did. Or I heard you groan. Either way, I'm glad that you're with us. And stay here because I got a great tip coming up about how you can tell who's calling without looking at your phone here on the Kim Commando Show. So how'd you like to know who's calling before pulling your phone out of your pocket? Now, when your phone rings, you take your phone out, right? You look at the screen, okay? By giving your different contacts their own custom vibrations, you can know by these discrete buzzes if this is a call that you can't miss or one that you should just ignore. So to set it up, go on your iPhone, go to Contacts, and then Edit, and then you're going to see Text Tones, and that's where you can select vibrations from a list. Maybe if it's your love of your life, you select the heart vibration, or if the kid's away at summer camp and it's an alert vibration. So you can get super fancy. Now, if you're on Android, you can do the same thing. Just head into your contacts menu, more, and then vibration pattern. From now on, you know exactly who's calling without picking up the phone. And just a quick reminder that our great sponsors help make this show possible. So what you want to do is always check out the exclusive deals that you can find at komando.com/sponsors.
Thanks for listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's hour 2.
I always like to kick things off with something fun and super interesting. And after rocking out since the 1970s, a band is calling it quits. No, it's not the Rolling Stones. It's the Chuck E. Cheese animatronic band, Munch's Make Believe Band. Yeah, they're going to be gone by the end of 2024. They're going to be replacing these giant rat robots that play guitar with TVs and more seats and dynamic, they say, dance floors and digital stuff. And let me tell you, no more Chuck E. Cheese bands at over 400 locations. Those rats, they are terrifying looking. I don't even know why the kids would even go near them. You know, speaking of bands, I don't know if I told you guys and gals, but I actually started a band with friends. And we called it 999 megabytes. The problem, we haven't got a gig yet. Oh, that was a great one. And on that happy note, welcome everybody. I'm Kim Komando, America's beloved digital goddess. You just tapped into the best show, the biggest show, the most trusted show about all things digital. And if you're brand new to the show, a huge welcome. Where have you been all my life? And then if you're a regular listener, let me tell you, you look amazing, darling. And you can find the show on over 420 stations across the United States. We're streaming your favorite radio app too. Just search for Komando to find me. And a special shout out goes to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, talking about all the servicemen and women in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force in 175 different countries. Now, let me tell you, great sponsors like Oracle help make this show possible. And I always negotiate an exclusive money-saving deal for you. So anytime you hear me mention a website for one of our sponsors, you're like, oh, what was that web address? I want to make sure that, you know, we have you covered. We always have your back. Head over to komando.com/sponsors. That's komando.com/sponsors. Every single day, I go to at least 35 different websites to make sure that we're both up to date on what's going on in the tech verse. And normally I go through the top 5 things and their different stories. But things are a little bit different this past week. Now, in the last hour, if you were listening on the radio, or in the last episode, if you get the show as a podcast, I covered the big news from OpenAI, truly groundbreaking stuff. Now, if you missed any of that, you can always get the podcast over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. But we're moving on. We're going to talk about Google right now. Google versus ChatGPT. And, you know, Google was complacent. They were kind of sitting there like going, oh, we're Google. And suddenly OpenAI comes along and they no longer can be complacent. And so the other day, they had their Google I/O conference, and that's where they roll out all the big things that they're going to be showing us and putting in front of us and their products over the next, say, 6 months to the years. So we're going to start with what we talk about when we say Google something, because that is now changing. When you Google something from now on, Google's going to use its own AI to answer most searches directly. So instead of clicking on links, you're going to just read what AI has generated at the top of the search results. Google actually said in their conference this past week that Google is going to do the Googling for you. I want you to think about that for just a second. Google is going to be doing the Googling for you. No longer is Google going to provide traffic to websites. Okay, so if you're sitting there and your traffic is plummeting, okay, it's going to go even further down the tubes. The web as we know it, I've been saying this for almost 2 years now. The internet's web is dead. Websites are dead. Okay. And if you are making all your money off of a website, you need to start thinking about this. You need to think about how you're going to pivot, how you're going to move your business. This is why we launched newsletters, folks. This is why we did it. I saw this was coming, that you cannot depend upon Google ad revenues to support your website anymore. You have to think outside the box. That's number one that Google announced. 2, Project Astra. Okay. Think of it as Siri or Alexa. Now, Project Astra is a lot like OpenAI's character, a lot of what we saw in that movie, Her. And Google believes that they've come very close to her with Project Astra. Now, in the demo, a tester in London actually scans her office with her phone, and she asks Astra to find something that makes it sound, it reasons like a human. Take a listen.
Let's do some tests. Tell me when you see something that makes sound.
I see a speaker, which makes sound.
What is that part of the speaker called?
That is the tweeter. It produces high-frequency sounds.
Okay, so we have Project Astra. We have OpenAI with ChatGPT-4o. And then Google announces something called the AI Teammate in Google Workspace. It'll search all your messages, your email threads, your attachments, so you can actually say, I got 3 bids on the roof. Can you tell me which bid is the best one that I should be calling? And can you review the contract to make sure it has everything in there so I don't get screwed? Because the last time I got a roof, I totally got screwed over by the company. So this AI teammate, he has a name, Chip. And Chip is going to be your virtual assistant, so you can ask him anything that you want. Okay, so what does this all mean? Most of us use Google at work. Now, the entire search site is getting an AI makeover. Gmail is getting an AI makeover. Google Workspace is getting an AI makeover. So here's what you need to do, is that if you use Google Workspace in your business, you need to assign somebody at the company to become the AI expert. You need to do that. And that person needs to teach everybody in the company how to use all these AI tools so they're not fumbling along and they're wasting time and they're doing things. You also have to remember the privacy aspects too, because that person needs to talk to them about what they can and cannot and should not be putting into AI, including company business plans, financial statements, proprietary secrets, formulas, whatever it may be. So remember, if you don't innovate, you're going to evaporate. And that is more true now than ever before in history. Now, if you're not already getting our free newsletter, head over to getkim.com right now. Just go to getkim.com and sign up, because you're going to be amazed at every single thing that I share with you. And this is so important. It's now more true than ever. And you need to stay up to date on all things digital. Of course, we're going to tell you about data breaches and things that are also happening in the tech world. But I really need to prepare all of you for this AI revolution that's happening right now. And if you ever have any questions, remember, I'm always here for you. You can call our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line at 1-888-825-5254, or you can actually send me a note over and ask Kim. That's what it says now, ask Kim at commando.com. Just hit that button and I'll be there right for you. All right, coming up, we're going to tell you how you can fake your location to get the lowest prices online. Oh, the telltale signs that your computer's hard drive's failing. And oh, what about a hacked webcam? What does that look like? And of course, we have all of your phone calls, and you have me, Kim Commando. Say it with me right now. winfromkim.com. 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 Okay, if you go there right now, you can enter to win a $799 iPhone 15. Once again, winfromkim.com. All right, let's get started with Tom in Dayton, Ohio.
Well, here's my question, I guess. With, all the trading going on in the world in crypto and gold coins and different types of merchandise, I guess, I hear about AI trading bots a lot, and I've never used one. I've went online the other day to check them out and see what they involved and that sort of thing. And before I really got into that, I just really kind of want to get an idea of, what, from a safety or reliability standpoint in terms of like a user who's like buying or trading coins or Bitcoin or whatever. What are your thoughts about AI trading platforms and AI bots, I mean?
This is a really great question. It really is. Because we are starting to see AI go into so many different aspects of our lives, right? I mean, I'm certain that you saw the big announcement from OpenAI the other day, which is crazy with a capital C. It's amazing and it's dangerous at the same time. It's invigorating, but it's frightening. And
that's what I think, and that's what worries me a little bit. I mean, it is a little bit frightening. It seems like it might be dangerous. I'm not sure.
And so when we start talking about AI trading bots, now we're talking about money, our money.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
And
yeah, exactly.
It takes a long time for us to get that money. And it takes a lot of hard work and diligence and, just day in and day out. And not just to pay our bills, but, to have, as I've expressed to the kids in my family, money does not buy you happiness. It does not. But what it does give you is freedom. That's what it gives you. It gives you, it gives you freedom to buy what you want to buy. It gives you freedom to go on that vacation on that bucket list. It gives you freedom to help out the church or the temple or whatever it may be. But it gives you freedom. It's not going to make you content. It's not going to bring a smile to your face. But it's easier when you have money. Life is easier when you do.
Yeah.
But so when we start looking at trading bots and now money, that's where it's like, all right, okay. Now where is this line going? Because on the upside, an AI trading bot can make a trade without any emotion.
Right.
It can make it without. How many times have you made a decision on a trade based on your gut? I think I got a feeling. I got a feeling it's going to go up, right? I got a feeling it's going to go down. And so with AI, they don't have any feelings. Okay, they execute trades faster than you and I can.
Right.
They can also work 24/7 without any breaks. They're not sleeping. We're not worrying about what's going on in the Nikkei index. Okay. I mean,
right.
Okay. Now, so what's the downside? The data that it's given, the algorithms, who's behind it, who has programmed it, what is the agenda behind who programmed it? It doesn't really understand market crashes, pandemics, how that influences the marketplace, elections.
Yeah.
Okay. And we all know, we're not going to talk politics here, but we all know this election, there's a lot of people, okay, that are on both sides of the fence who are not happy with each other. Okay. I mean, just go ahead and try to mention Trump or Biden in your Facebook feed in a positive way and see what happens.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I mean, I have a family member who went to the Trump rally, and I'm not picking sides here, just to let you know. She went to the Trump rally, and boy, you should see the comments. I'm like, oh, you poor thing. It's like, it's just nuts. AI, we like to use the word hallucinates. That just makes crap up.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
They make crap up. Just makes it up.
Oh.
Okay. When it doesn't know an answer, it just generates incorrect information. Like, for example, when ChatGPT first came out, I said to it, is Kim Commando's real name? Okay. It came back and said that my name was really Kimber R. Timbley. Okay. And that I changed the name to Commando because of the command prompt being inside the tech industry. I wanted to have some alliteration with my name. And it went on and on and on. Now, I tried to find a Kimber B or whatever it was, Timbley. There was no such person in the world that existed. So it was able to come up with a name that there was nobody in the world with that spelling and that first and last name with that middle initial. Okay. I was born Kim Commando. Okay, I am Kim Commando. I mean, I didn't take my husband's last name because I'm like, I am not, Kim Young. I am Kim Commando. That's me. So it just made it just made it up and was so good at it that if you tried to do a search, you didn't find it. I mean, wow. I mean, think about that. That's really something.
Yeah. Wow. That is.
So, I think I would look for one with some strong history. I don't want to name any because I haven't tried any.
Okay.
What I would like to do is talk more about this with maybe somebody who has some experience with this, and somebody who doesn't blindly trust an AI bot, but has some pros and cons. And to that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on my list to go find somebody. I am, Tom. I'm going to go find somebody who has a strong background in AI trading bots, and we're going to talk to them. And so if you have any questions that you want me to ask this person, just go ahead and, drop me a note, and I'll be sure to ask them your specific questions. And then maybe we can get into some that, that do work, and what the costs are and what are the downsides in a practical standpoint, as far as like how much money are people losing, how much money are people making, and does it really make sense to tap into this quite, at this point. So hang on, Tom. We're gonna find that person, and we're gonna bring him here on the show. And thanks for the idea. All right, let's talk about your iPhone. I don't know if you know this, but there's a secret setting in your iPhone 13 or higher that will actually make your footage look crisp like a Hollywood movie, and those photos just really pop. It's called a ProRes setting. So what you want to do is go into the camera settings and just tap on ProRes. ProRes. You can also upgrade your phone's video settings to it. They keep it lower to keep all the storage maybe more available, because it's going to, lower the resolution of the videos and also the photos. But ProRes is something that really slick you ought to check out. All right, we have more of your phone calls coming up here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, coming up in just a few minutes, the telltale signs that your computer's hard drive is failing, and then later on, 5 signs of a hacked webcam. And before we get to all of that, and I have a great interview to tell you about, let's talk about faking your location. Now, in real life, the pricier the neighborhood, the more expensive the grocery store. And guess what? Websites work pretty much the same way. Only 1 in 3 Americans know that online shops can dynamically raise or lower prices just by figuring out where you're coming to them from. And it's a big number, 1 in 3. I mean, that's it. Now, there are ways to navigate around this so you can get the deals. Number 1, you get a VPN like ExpressVPN, and you change your virtual location to one that you suspect that gets the lower prices. You can buy through there, and you can ship to your same home address, which, by the way, there was a report in the Daily Mail the other day that they actually did this. A couple in the United States wanted to rent a car in the UK, and they got a price of like $1,200 for 3 days. They changed their address to be in the UK, used Enterprise Rent-A-Car for the same dates, got the same make and model of the car, but because they thought they were in the UK, the price was like $300. Okay. So that's another reason why you should be using ExpressVPN. You can also compare prices online like Price Grabber and Google Shopping, and also track the prices on a product that you want. You have Chrome. Keepa is a really powerful extension. If you want to track prices on Amazon, you want to use the site Camel. I know. Camel. What should we call it? Donkey? No, let's call it Camel. Yeah, I think that was a better choice. All right. Aside from the Kim Komando Show, I host a podcast called Kim Komando Today. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. And I get to speak with some really interesting people, like Stacy Liberatore. She's the Deputy Science and Tech Editor at dailymail.com. Now, Stacy has made a really surprising choice. Think about this. She's the Deputy Science and Technology Editor. She's going screen-free with her young daughter, Amelia. The American Academy of Pediatrics, they discourage media use by kids under the age of 2 and limit older children's screen time to no more than 1 or 2 hours a day. That's it. Now, I have never met anyone who has taken this to heart like Stacy. And so, like I mentioned, this past week, we sat down, we talked about it. Here, take a listen. So when did you decide no screen time?
My husband and John and I decided even before our little Amelia was born. We just decided no screen time. I will say that we do let her watch television, but it's limited television, and it's usually just educational shows. She does watch about 2 shows that aren't education related.
What are her go-tos? I just want to know.
Oh, what is it? She likes Minnie Mouse, and she likes the
Bluey? Is it Bluey?
Teen Titans.
Oh,
Teen Titans
okay.
Go.
Oh, wow. Thought for sure there was going to be a Bluey in there.
Bluey's so huge.
You know what? Why didn't we come up with Bluey?
I don't know. We'd be billionaires. We wouldn't be sitting here if we came up with Bluey, that's for sure.
We would still
I like
be
it
sitting
more than she does.
And so how old is Amelia now?
She just turned 2 in February.
Okay. Now tell us about the plane rides.
So we went to visit, my sister lives in Colorado, and we went over Thanksgiving, and we don't do, no iPad, no smartphones. So we got coloring books, finger puppets, these little busy books that they have with like all little like ties in them and things like that. And on the way there, she fell asleep instantly. I was like, this is great. We have, a miracle child on our hands. But on the way back, she just would not fall asleep. So she was crying and she didn't want to sit in her seat. And it was probably one of the times I wish I had a tablet.
Would you, if you had one, would you have handed it to her?
No.
No?
I know. No. Because my parents who were sitting in front of us, they both had an iPad.
Oh, so you had the opportunity.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And so mom or dad, they didn't go like, Stacey, here, just give it to her. Just give it to her.
They weren't crying
They
because
probably
they had
did,
their
and
iPad.
I was just in the middle of like...
Does she want for tablets? Does she want for screen time?
It's interesting because she's never had one, yet she knows like to touch the screen. Like she'll pick up my phone and she'll go like this. And it's probably just from watching my husband and I do it. So, I mean, we don't have iPads in the house.
Okay.
So I think that kind of helps the fact that she doesn't, yearn for it.
I'm sure you have like mom dates, play dates, dad dates with the kids. Have you noticed how your daughter's different than the other children?
Yeah. Amelia, she's very calm. She's a very chill baby. I mean, I know she's not a baby, but I always call her my baby. No matter where we go, she will just sit there calmly. And I mean, not that even if she is, energized or anything like that, it obviously wouldn't bother me, but she's just so much more chill than a lot of the other kids that I see. And she's so empathetic. She's very in tune to people, I've noticed.
And do you think that's a direct cause of not growing up so far with screens?
I do, because for instance, when we go out to dinner, she either has crayons or like an Etch-a-Sketch, those 1980s, 90s toys, or my husband and I keep her in the conversation. So I feel like that's actually helped with her development because she knows how to be in a social setting without having something distract her where she's more involved in the setting, if that makes sense.
And that's always a pet peeve of mine, Stacey, is that when I see parents out with their kids at restaurants and the kids have like the headphones on with the tablets in front of their face, I'm like, why didn't you just leave them home? I mean,
you can't sometimes because babysitters are expensive.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not interacting. You're not teaching them.
No,
anything.
that's true.
You're not teaching them like bread, meal, water, or
You teach me bread, meal, water?
BMW.
Oh.
Bread, meal, water.
Well, we can talk about that after the show.
You know what? I've been working with him forever, Stacey. You can only go so far.
I'm almost there.
Almost.
Now, is there a point where you're going to allow her to use a tablet, use a screen?
Yeah, I think when she's about 5 years old, because I know, like, I'm not blind to the fact that this is the way of the world. This is the way of the land. Everything's going to be taught with iPads and things like that. So I obviously don't want her to be like the weird kid in school, like, oh, my mommy said I can't use it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, but she may be introduced to it prior, depending on what kind of schooling you look at. My daughter started pre-K, whatever they call that, when she was 4. And the minute she walks into school, there's a tablet. Her reading assignment is on a tablet. Her shapes and colors assignment is on a tablet.
Yeah, and we've actually we would be sending to her like a more Montessori school.
Okay.
Where they don't do it in pre-K.
But it's going to be there. Yeah, you're right. At some point, it's going to be there.
At some point, and that's fine, and that's totally fine. It's just being a tech reporter, I've seen countless studies where researchers find that it impacts their brain development.
I was just going to ask you that. What studies did you base your decision on?
There's a study that it changes the shape of the brain between 3 and 5 on children who are exposed to, screens and such like that. It impacts their visual perceptions, long-term memory, their attention spans, empathy, things like that. So, I mean, obviously, I also think that this is all very new. You know, I mean, I'm 40, my husband's 43, you know, as you guys were older than the internet. So we didn't grow up with this stuff. So, you know, it's all new. We don't really know the impacts that it's going to have. So these studies are starting to trickle out.
Do you think that this is a trend now with young mothers and dads?
I think it is. And I think it's just becoming, I think a lot of times, a lot of people who are screen free, like my husband and I and her, we're kind of scared to say something because people take it the wrong way. People think we're judging you if you know, do use screens, which is totally not the case. Or you're like, other people are like, well, you're not the first person to invent no screens. So I do think that there are a lot of parents out there because, I mean, I've seen kids who are given screens constantly. And when they don't have it, I mean, forget it. It's chaos.
Now, you can hear our entire chat, Kim Komando Today, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch the entire interview over at youtube.com/Kim Komando. That's youtube.com/Kim Komando. And just a reminder, we do Kim Komando Today every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11:30 a.m. That's on the Pacific Coast. On the East Coast, that's 2:30 p.m. I'd love for you to join us. Just try us out. You can catch us live or on demand. It doesn't matter. youtube.com/Kim Komando. All right. A computer's hard drive usually lasts, you ready for it, 3 to 5 years. And when it dies, poof, there goes all your files. Okay. That's why you always want to have an online backup. But what are some signs that the hard drive is failing? You want to be aware of any strange noises, especially if it's an older computer, because it has an older hard drive. We're talking about clicks, buzzes, high-pitched whirls. Sometimes it sounds like a cat's meow. And don't ignore these sounds. Make sure that you have a backup of your hard drive in the cloud. And now it's not difficult to replace a hard drive. If you don't know what you're doing, just let a local repair shop do the job for you. But this is super important. Be sure that your old drive is thoroughly destroyed after you remove it from your computer. All right, still to come, 5 signs of a hacked webcam here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, Diana in Monterey, California. Hi there, Diana.
So I have a company that sends techs out into the field, and they need to take pictures and send them back to me so I can make a report and send it to my customer. They're using, their cell phones, and the pictures are really big, like 5 megabytes or 4 megabytes or something, and they can only send 1 or 2 at a time, and they're always late because it takes forever for them to do it. Is there a platform or some kind of cloud where they can automatically have those pictures uploaded so that I can get them directly from a shared cloud platform?
Certainly, you can do that in several ways. Just when you were talking, what I was thinking is that, are you using like Google Workspace or anything like that?
No.
Okay, with Google Workspace is that it gives you the ability to do a whole bunch of things. Like you have shared documents, you have shared worksheets, shared presentations, shared photo files. In addition to that, you have chat, almost like Slack. And with the chat function, with Google Chat, is that I will tell you, it has really upped the productivity of everybody in this company. And whether you're using Slack or Google Chat. Have you ever used chat with your folks?
Yes.
Okay. Are you using Slack or are you just using text messages?
Just texting and chatting on WhatsApp and stuff like that.
Okay.
But,
now, if you take it off of WhatsApp and you put it onto Google, is that number one is there's a history of every single thing that you do with each of the texts, which is super important for legal purposes, but also for reference purposes. And then because it's part of the ecosystem, is that now when you need to transfer that picture to, say, a doc or a spreadsheet or whatever it may be, is that it's accessible across all your devices a lot easier than with WhatsApp because you have it on your laptop, your computer, your tablet, your phone, or whatever it may be. So my initial thought is that you fire up Google Chat, and then the tech can take, and the tech has chat, the app right there on their phone or their tablet, whatever they're using. They can take a picture using Google Chat that gets put into the Google Cloud in the workspace. And then you always have a reference to it to go back. And then you can also search. So if you're saying, so if text says, oh, I'm at, John Smith's house. And 2 months from now, you're like, oh man, what the heck did that look like? Right? You're not going back all through WhatsApp messages. You could just go into Google Chat and say, John Smith. And it was like, oh, there's the picture. Thank you so much. And then you can also save that to Google Photos if you wanted to. And so look, I want you to take it out of WhatsApp messaging and let's make it more of a collaborative tool, not just a side note. And then when they're on Wi-Fi or cellular, whatever, those photos they get uploaded really quickly. Now, of course,
that's what I need.
Alternatively, you could use Google Photos, put Google Photos on their phone and everything like that. But I think that's maybe asking too much from a tech. You don't want them. You're not paying them by the hour to sit there and futz around, right? Right. Okay, we're paying them to fix whatever they need to fix, okay, or whatever they're there to do. And so we want to make it as easy and as seamless for that. Now, if you are looking for something more, there are services that out there that you would pay a monthly fee for. That, for example, like it does the quotes on site. It does the invoice on site. It can capture signatures from your customers. They can accept credit card payments on site. I mean, so if you're thinking like, okay, this is just one piece of the puzzle that's kind of messed right now, and if you wanted to take it to the next level, then it's like there's companies like servicem8.com, and we can send you links to these, by the way, so you don't have to look at it. And then it also syncs with QuickBooks. So,
okay.
So depending upon where you want to go with this, if it's just to fix the photos, I would look at just doing Google Chat because I think that's probably the easiest way to do it, and it's the quickest, it's non-intrusive, and it's going to be really easy for them to do. But
that's what I need. Yeah, so, easy for them to do.
And so, but if you're looking for something else, then that's where if you want to manage jobs and staff, and you want like a whole company solution, that there are those type of sites out there too that can actually help you to make that magic happen. So, Diana, I know I just threw out like Service M8, and there's also another one called Company Cam. And so, in case you want to look at those, I put you on hold. Amber will send you links out to those. And thanks for your call. If you need any other help, I'm here for you. All right. Speaking of photos, you know what that means. It's time for a bad joke. Why do vegans often look miserable in photos? Why do vegans often look miserable in photos? They don't like to say cheese. Oh, yeah, bad one. Okay, 5 signs of a hacked webcam coming right up. All right, so how do you know if your webcam has been hacked? Okay, the light goes on even when you're not using it. The light should only come on when the camera's in use. Next, some weird icons or unfamiliar programs just pop up. Creeps could have installed software to access your webcam. Maybe you get some unexpected pop-ups and documents in your files. Yeah, another red flag. Or how about friends start receiving some weird messages or email from you? Well, your webcam could be compromised. The hacker is sending, receiving data from it. And finally, you start seeing some browser extensions that you did not install yourself. Yes, all of those are red flags. And just a reminder, great sponsors help keep us on the air. And you can always find links to all the exclusive deals over at commando.com/sponsors, commando.com/sponsors.
Thank you for listening to the Kim Commando Show. Here's hour 3.
I always like to start with something really interesting, and let's talk about your PIN to your ATM card. Okay. What is your PIN? As it turns out, an outfit by the name of Information is Beautiful, they analyzed 3.4 million PINs. Now, what do you think is the most common PIN? What do you think the most common PIN is? 4 digits. Anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that leads the pack, followed by 1, 1, 1, 1, and then followed by 0, 0, 0, 0. Not far behind that one. Care to guess? Anybody care to guess? You ready? 69, 69, 69. Okay, all of those PIN numbers are bad PIN numbers, even the 69, 69. And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am America's beloved digital goddess here with you once again. It's the biggest show. It's the most trusted show. It's just the best show. It's the award-winning show about all things digital. Because after all, I'm Kim Komando here with you once again, and you can find my program on over 420 top stations across the United States. And also, you can find us streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And a special hello goes out to all of our listeners in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force joining us on the American Forces Network Radio. We salute you all. And just a reminder, it's all of our great sponsors that help to make this show possible. And I always negotiate special deals for you guys and gals that you can't find anywhere else. And to check out the deals, because I know we give out a lot of different web addresses, I wanted to make it simple for you. Head over to komando.com/sponsors. That's komando.com/sponsors. Alrighty then, you can count on me to check out at least 35 to 40 different websites every single day to bring you up to date. Now, in the first 2 hours of the show, if you're listening on the radio, or the last 2 episodes of the podcast, if you're getting me that way, I really spoke a lot about OpenAI and Google's new artificial intelligence tools. Now, if you're just tuning in, you really need to catch up. And again, you can get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. But speaking of AI, where's Apple? What's Apple doing? Anybody? Anybody talking to Apple? Anything going on? Ah, yes, you're smart, because you know what's coming up in June is the Worldwide Developers Conference, So we can fully expect a deal between Apple and OpenAI to put ChatGPT into the phones. They are in talks to use the chatbot's capabilities and Apple's next OS. We're talking about iOS 18. So my bet is what happened is Sam Altman showed Apple all the demos of ChatGPT-4o. And Apple said, yeah, you're right. There's no way we can compete with that. And Siri, we're going to say it, Siri sucks. She does. I mean, compared to everything that you guys and gals have built. And so what this means is that your next iPhone is going to be an AI phone. So if you're in the market for a new iPhone, just don't buy one. You're going to have to hold off until September, October. Because again, at the Worldwide Developer Conference, just a few weeks away, that's when we fully expect for Apple to stand there and Tim Cook to just give that man hug to Sam Altman and say, yes, now Siri is really going to be something. But also what's happening is that Washington, D.C. has finally taken notice of this. Yes, because after all, we're not a civilized world when we think about it. Okay, we have wars, we have crime, food shortages, weapons, disease. We are really doing a piss-poor job of living together in harmony. So how are we going to handle artificial intelligence? Because it does pose a threat. It's fabulous. It's wonderful. I get that. But it poses a threat to humans, to resources, to jobs, to the planet. I mean, it's already being used to scam people out of hundreds of thousands, millions, billions of dollars. Okay. So in response to all these concerns, a bipartisan group of senators, they put together a 31-page plan to regulate AI. It calls for a $32 billion investment in AI research. Now, leading the charge, we're not talking politics, but you need to know all this, Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer, alongside other key figures like Republican Senator Mike Rounds from South Dakota. They have crafted a roadmap addressing AI issues like misuse in elections, impact on jobs, housing. Senator Todd Young, a Republican from Indiana, describes it as the broadest and deepest legislative document on AI yet. Okay. I'm sure that there's a lot in that 31 pages, and it took them a long time to get this together. But anything that's in that 31 pages just got blown up in the last week. Okay, just so if you are involved in any type of AI research legislation, just know that that happened. All right, we're going to just switch gears just a little bit because I want to talk to parents that are listening right now. A children's jewelry maker promoted her products using photos of a 5-year-old girl on Instagram. In the picture, this little 5-year-old girl is wearing a charm bracelet. Now, the jewelry maker set up her Instagram ads to target parents who would be most likely to buy these bracelets for their kiddos. These were parents who were interested in parenting, ballet, other topics for moms. Guess what? The ad mainly reached adult men. So the jewelry maker reached out to the New York Times. It's like, what is going on? So the New York Times said, you know what, we'll run a similar ad and we'll see what kind of results that we get back. All right. The New York Times, again, picture of a 5-year-old girl, charm bracelet. How innocent is this? Attracted convicted sex offenders and solicitations, phone calls from 2 accused sex offenders, offers to pay the child for sexual acts with professions of love. Instagram says that they have rules against sex offenders. They have rules, and we make sure that we stand by our rules. They are not allowed to have accounts. How's that working out for you? Not so much, right? And finally, a good story about AI. Let's go to Providence, Rhode Island. That's where a 21-year-old young woman, Lexi Bogan, lives. She loves singing Taylor Swift songs in her car. She was a soprano at her high school choir. But last summer, she got a brain tumor, and it silenced her voice. After months of headaches, they found the tumor, and they were able to remove it, but her vocal cords were damaged. But hope came in the form of AI. Doctors at Rhode Island Hospital, in collaboration with OpenAI, introduced Lexi to an AI voice cloning tool. They used a 15-second clip of Lexi's voice from a high school project to train AI. It's a small snippet, but it was enough to bring her voice back. Okay, so now when Lexi wants to say something, she types it on her phone, and then AI reads it aloud to her in her original voice. Here's her ordering Starbucks with her new AI voice.
Hi, can I get a grande iced brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso?
Okay, something as simple as ordering a Starbucks. She wasn't able to do that, but now she can. See, AI, we talk about doom and gloom and all the great things, but when it can really affect a human's life, that's when it really, really is amazing. All righty, coming up, we're going to talk about how you can get real college credits online. The risks you take if you never update. Ali Seligman, our amazing content queen, is going to be here. We're going to be talking about AI in your business, and we have all of your great phone calls you don't want to miss. And, of course, you have me, Kim Komando. Hey, we're giving away a $799 iPhone 15 right now. Where do you go? winfromkim.com. That's where you enter. Once again, that's winfromkim.com, winfromkim.com. All right, let's see. David in Sulphur, Louisiana. Hi there, David.
Well, I worked for the company for several years. We do a lot of work in mechanical insulation. Mm-hmm. And over the years, to get that word out, we've looked at making videos, short 3-minute videos to put out there to get people to understand the importance of insulation, both at home, commercial, and industrial insulation. And I'm part of a board of directors for Southwest Insulation Contractors and for the National Insulation Association.
Wow.
Doing so, I'm trying to look for something that, with all the AI that's come out now that can develop things and write things for you, I was trying to see if there's some program that you can actually talk to, describe something, and it makes some avatar type video or, something it can do to create a video from your voice commands.
Yes, there is. And it's so darn good that Hollywood's shaking in their boots. I mean, man, because, you don't have to go to the top of a mountain in Colorado with a helicopter anymore, or to put a helicopter behind a green screen and have somebody just jump off of it. And then suddenly it looks like they're tumbling down the mountain with James Bond, whatever it may be, Tom Cruise or whatever. And those tools that we have are just now coming to fruition in a fast and quick way. And, there was a studio that was being built in Atlanta, Georgia for $800 million. $800 million. Think about that. A television production studio. Let's just call it $1 billion. So, you know what? What's $200 million between friends, right? Okay.
Right.
I would say, so they pulled the plug on it after they saw the AI video tools. They said, you know what? We're going to stop it. We're not even going to build this. We don't need it because of what AI can produce, and not just with scenes and sets, but also creating people, bringing people back from the dead, using their voice. I mean, we all had CGI. CGI is nothing compared to what AI is. Now, these tools are coming out I want you to think of these tools as, say, the first dot matrix printer. You remember those.
Yeah.
Okay. As compared to compare that to a color laser printer when that came out. Whoa, wow, look at that. Amazing. Okay. So the tools that we have now are nothing compared to what we're going to have 12, 24, 36 months from now. But if you're looking to get started in it, I can tell you some place to do it. I mean, you're going to, you can create your own avatar. And the avatar is going to speak for you, or a person. You can select the language. You pick a template. We'll create the video for you. You can add text. You can change the backgrounds. You can add some other visual elements, and that's what you want. And then you just download it, and then you got the video. And they charge you anywhere from $30 to $100 a month for you to do that.
Hey, that's affordable.
Yeah, it is. Versus hiring a talent at $100 an hour, right? Or more.
Right.
That we got to get the lights. And I can tell you, I mean, I'm sitting in a studio right now, David, that I bet you it cost, looking around, $3 million. Okay. I wouldn't build that today, but I did 7 years ago, because that's what the business needed. Everybody's going on, couldn't do, you needed a big studio. You needed to have big lights. And I'm a girl. I wanted to look great. Let's be honest. The lighting package had to be important, right?
Exactly.
So I guess what I'm saying is I want you to look at these tools, but I don't want you to say like, oh, I'm looking for this. It's coming. It's coming because I can tell you want the best. You do, right? You do.
I wanted to make a difference. Yes.
And so I'm gonna put you on hold, and then Amber, who you spoke to, lovely and talented Amber, is like I referred to, and she's going to give you information about like Synthesia, Alia.io, there's V.io, and Animaker. There's another one called Pictory, and all of them have free trials. Now, I haven't had a chance to look at any of these in great depth and detail. It's on my to-do list because I was thinking, hey, this would be really great too for us. I mean, we wouldn't have to, hire an MMJ, multimedia journalist. We wouldn't have to, we just go ahead and put all this in AI and we could teach you anything that you need to know. No, I don't know if it's there quite yet. Getting close. So for those of you who are just like, wow, what were the names of those programs? We're going to write a little bit about it inside of our free newsletter. So if you don't already get our free newsletters, make sure that you sign up right now over at getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. Next up is Kathy in Greensboro, North Carolina.
I have some relatives and friends that are using these cash making apps where they scan in their receipts from stores, gas pumps, where have you, and it's supposedly making them money. I know you don't get something for nothing, so I'd like to know what the downside is of this.
Well, the biggest downside is the data collection, right? Because they're collecting what you buy, where you go, how much you spend, your behaviors. Then they're sharing your habits with who knows who.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then they're going to be feeding you ads about who knows who and what knows what. They may have access to your phone number, to your email address, because this is the way that they can contact you. You can certainly read the privacy policies, but nobody ever does that, right?
No.
And so it's really a matter of personal preference. I mean, are you okay with giving out all your personal information that's going to be sold, or are you not, for whatever it may be? Maybe it's 10 cents off a gallon of gas, right? Or maybe it's a couple of dollars back because you spent $20 at Target or whatever it may be. And also take a look at permissions and access that some of these apps have. Of course, now if you're going to be scanning a receipt, guess what? It needs access to your camera.
Right.
It's going to need access to your location because that's going to be tied to where you are when you purchase something. So what you can do is, maybe try to avoid oversharing. Look at the app reviews to see if other people are getting spammed or they're getting a lot of, weirdo text messages because they suddenly signed up for this. Keep in mind that this is never going to replace a job. This is never going to replace something like an employment. This is maybe a couple of $100 a month and maybe some gift cards along the way, or maybe you're going to be saving money, like I mentioned, on gas, or maybe you get $10 back at the grocery store. So if you're okay with giving up all your information for that, then that's the way that it is. But if you're not, then just avoid using them. And thank you for your call. All right, you need to stay right where you are, because coming up, we're going to be talking about how AI is going to impact your job. All right, coming up in just a few minutes, the risks you take if you never update, and then later on, how to get real college credits on YouTube. And before we get to all of that, joining us right now on The Big Show is our amazing content queen, Ali Seligman. Hello there, Al.
Hi, Kim.
So I was on the radio this morning in a major market with a morning show host. And
to not be named.
he wanted to talk about certain things, which I did. And one of which I said, oh, that's just fear-mongering and clickbait that you probably don't want. People don't need to worry about.
Good.
One of those things. And then I kind of switched the conversation to what's really happening is with AI. And I was trying to explain to him OpenAI and how important this whole new development was.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised that a guy in his mid-40s didn't know about it.
About the changes?
Just really didn't know that these voices have come out and they are almost human-like.
Oh, it's crazy.
That, Google came out and said, we're going to Google for you. And then anybody who has content on a website just went
oops.
What?
Or you're us and you went, yeah, we know. We've been planning for this.
We've been planning for this.
Duh.
We knew this was coming. We saw this happening. But then I started thinking, Are we just too hyper-focused on tech in the mainstream media, the mainstream folks? It's not that important to them yet. What do you think?
I think you're onto something. He knew about ChatGPT and he knew about AI, right? He was familiar.
Yes.
He just wasn't totally up to date.
Right.
I would bet that's the vast majority of people. I think that they are in that, I know about it. I know it's getting better. Maybe I see a clip and see that, the one that we watched on the podcast this week, right? Where that laugh really kind of screwed with me because it was so natural and breathy, and it just sounded too good in a way that was wow.
It sounded authentic.
It did. It really did.
Authentic. It doesn't. It's not Suri sounds like a robot.
For sure. Yeah. Well, and they never tried to really make Suri sound like a real person, so they didn't or they couldn't. But now, yeah, these assistants are going to be. I was actually reading through the comments on one of those videos, and I kid you not, there was this whole conversation thread on YouTube, someone saying, man, I could really see myself falling in love. And there were comments under it of people saying it's free, it's nice. You don't have to deal with the complexity of human emotion. This is kind of where we're going, and it's nuts.
She's always going to be happy.
She's always going to be happy. She's always going to like you. She's going to remember all your favorite things.
He's going to never say no, I'm not going to take out the trash. You're not going to have to stumble over his dirty underwear or stinky toilet or whatever it may be.
True, but you're going to have to take out the trash yourself. So, there are trade-offs.
There is that.
But all this go ahead.
No, but what does it really mean to your job? What does it mean to your livelihood, right?
Yeah. And I think there are so many headlines and predictions and studies about these are all the jobs that AI is going to wipe out. And yes, that's going to happen. And it is happening in some cases, right? But again, I think for the vast majority of us, it's really about how can we use AI in our jobs to make us better. I was thinking about this again today because, if you have a website and you make money off that website, and now we know because Google is just giving you the information, I think it probably makes sense to keep all of your people and put them to work figuring out how are we going to get through this? How are we going to pivot our business?
Yes.
How are we going to change?
Yes. What do we, because it was just that screenshot that you sent me the other day in chat where you search for something on Commando, or you search for something on Google and it brought up Commando and it brought up the answer, but you didn't have to go to commando.com for that.
No, and it used to just be you got that little snippet, right? Enough to get you to click to go to the website. Now, nope, everything's there. You don't have to go anywhere. So I think that's kind of where my mind is at for, okay, the rest of us, what are we going to do? How are we going to use AI to be better at our jobs? Not because it's going to replace our jobs, at least not yet. And I think that we've seen all this growth. AI is really good at some stuff now, still not very good at other things. And so, all right, let's take a couple examples where, yeah, you should use it. And then maybe not yet. Maybe you should keep hiring that person or do it yourself. The boring stuff, data. Okay, sorting, analyzing, finding trends. AI is so good at this stuff. This is one of the, top AI uses for sure. So if you have a ton of data, great. And now some of these models can take so much more. You can upload basically, books and books and books and get good information from it. But on the stuff you should do yourself, do you really want the bot telling you, and here's how you should change your business? And here's how you're going to do it. No, we still need people for that, right? What about technical stuff? AI has gotten really good at editing photos. And I didn't think we would see the day. We've had the apps for a long time that make your face look a little better or whatever. But now you can completely change photos. You can add things to photos and it looks really, really good. Like the AI Photoshop stuff is nuts.
Yeah, it is. We thought it was a big deal, and it was like, oh, you could remove somebody out of the background.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we can take you and we can put you in a different situation. It just reminds me of the guy in Atlanta who was building the $800 million video production studio.
Oh, I'm so sad for him.
Okay, yes. Tyler Perry is who it is.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he was, he had all these plans, and then he saw Sora and then went like, nope, we're not building this anymore because you don't need it.
No, you really don't. That does lead me to one that you probably should still hire people to do, creating videos. The technology is just not there yet. We have tried out a bunch of these platforms where you put in a little prompt, does it spit out a really good video? They're okay. No.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Or even like we were just playing around with photos the other day and I said, show me a woman in the park with a little boy and, then show me, give her brown hair. And it didn't really look like a person.
No.
It did, but it wasn't.
Yeah, there are tells. And certainly it's better, right, than months ago or years ago. But yeah, there are tells. Everyone is too beautiful. At least she had 5 fingers every time, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, so we are making progress.
We are. What about creative stuff? So coming up with ideas is probably one of the biggest ways I use AI. It takes a lot of brain power if you're like, okay, I need to write a headline. I should probably write 10 versions of this till I find the one I like. That's hard, but AI is really good at it. So it can help with coming up with ideas. But if you are trying to write anything that really sounds like a human, you can't have AI do it. It just doesn't work. Yes, it's getting better, but it doesn't work.
Well, it doesn't have the nuances.
Exactly.
It still doesn't feel like it doesn't feel, and you can look and you're like, oh, AI totally wrote that.
Isn't that funny? It's almost like you can intuit it. You can feel it, right? It's not, you can't point to any specific word or anything else like that, which leads me to my last one. Something where you need to be really thoughtful. So something that AI is pretty darn good at is tone, detecting tone. So maybe you're really mad at your coworker and you write an email, and before you send it, you have the forethought to put it in ChatGPT and say, can you make this a little friendlier for me? Because that you're so mad at Barbara about that stupid thing she did for the 4th time. And it can do that.
Cooked salmon in the kitchen and just stunk the whole place up.
Barbara,
but these are all really great ideas. And so, as always, if you want to know more about this, make sure that you sign up for our free newsletter. And you can, if you sign up right now at winfromkim.com, not only do you get the newsletter, but you are entered to win a $799 iPhone 15. So make sure you go to winfromkim.com. Our amazing content queen, Ali Seligman, always great to see you, and thanks for being here and sharing your smarts with everyone.
Thanks, Kim.
All righty, still to come, how to get real college credits on YouTube and more here on The Kim Komando Show. All right, Rick in Wilmington, Delaware. Hello there, Rick.
I'll give you the backstory. I posted an ad on Facebook Marketplace for a stroller.
Okay.
About 3 hours after I placed the ad, I got contacted by this guy that wanted to buy it, but he couldn't pick it up until Friday. So he wanted to Zelle me the money for it. So he asked me for my email address, which I gave to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get this note. It says, "Dear customer, we encountered a problem while trying to credit your Zelle account. You have a pending payment for $275, but we are unable to credit your account with that amount because the status of your Zelle account is not a business user, which means your account has a limit. This amount seems to be above your account limit and will not allow us to credit your account unit unless you increase your limit." And I'm thinking, I never heard of a limit before. I've sent money to various people I've never received before.
Okay.
So I called my bank. They didn't know anything about it. Nothing had been added to my account. I called Zelle, and they really weren't all that helpful. And then the rest of this email goes on. It says, "No, you have to take this urgent step to increase your credit limit. Contact the last payer of your account to send in an additional payment of $400 so that your account limit can increase. And as soon as this is done, we will have no problem crediting your account with the total sum of $675.
Okay,
So
but it was only
it
was $275 for the stroller, right?
Right.
Okay.
So if they're claiming that my 275 is not the limit, then why would
Yeah.
an additional 400 work?
Yeah. Sounds like you're getting
And then it
scammed.
says- Yeah, and then it says an alert has been sent to the buyer in regards to the $400 additional payment, or he or she has to send an order to increase your account limit. We will monitor this to ensure all transactions are completed, so neither the payer or the buyer loses funds."
Okay.
Okay. And then it has a click here for information, and it's Zelle Payment Unit 101@gmail.com.
Oh yeah, that's legit. Yeah, that's legit right there. Okay. Zelle's going to use a Gmail address 100% all the time.
That's what that was another thing. So I noticed a couple of things, that there was extra spaces in the note. They had used advice instead of advise, and just a couple of other little things, grammar that was off.
For sure.
So I thought, well, and then they sent me a second one which says, if you don't resolve this, we're going to contact the FBI, and you're going to be arrested. Blah blah blah.
Tell them did you write him back and say, "You know what? Come get me. Come arrest me." Okay. I need new teeth.
I asked him for his email account, his email address. No response. He's not giving that to me.
No.
Because I could send a request through Zelle if I had his email. So I went to FTC or FBI, one of those web pages, and I tried to file a complaint. And I filled out all this information, and then it asked for the IP address of the sender, and it wouldn't take the submission unless I had the IP address.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that. I have no way of getting that. So, anyways, my question is there a way to prevent people from doing this kind of thing? I mean, or just have to be alert.
You just got to be alert. Unfortunately, you just have to be on. You got to be alert. You got to be on the ball. You got to know. You got to question everything, just like you did. I mean, you're selling a stroller for $275. The guy wants to give you an extra $400. And if you were to fall for this, is that he's gonna send you a receipt that he sent you the $400. And it looks like, oh, well, you know what? And then he's going to say, oh, darn it. I sent you too much money. Could you send me $400 back? Could you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're going to be like, oh, yeah, let me send you the $400 back because I'm Pollyanna and I believe everything. I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Right.
Right. It's an overpayment scam. And
that's what I figured.
And it's, unfortunately, it's kind of what you get with Facebook Marketplace. It's all over. I mean, it's you'd think that Facebook could lock something down, but they don't. They don't care. It doesn't matter. And a lot of people are losing a lot of money because these scams look legit, and you just happen to be smarter than the rest and saying, you know what? Zelle does not use Gmail as their corporate email address. My gosh, people, you have to be smarter than this. But hey, Rick, I'm glad that you called in because hopefully somebody listening right now knows somebody, or it's even them. It's like, this sounds familiar. Sounds like it's going on with me. I'm not going to fall for the scam. Speaking of scams, what scam do cats always fall for? What scams do cats always fall for? You ready? Phishing links. Oh, I know. Hey, let me tell you, let's talk for just a second about podcasts, okay? Because I really, really want you to check out our podcast. And I know that, and I love you listening here on the show. But on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I do a podcast called Kim Komando Today. Ali Seligman, who was just here on the show, she joins us, as well as Andrew Babinski. That name may be familiar to some of you longtime listeners because he was my call screener for over 10 years. And he's back. And so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's when we all sit down and we just talk about what's happening in the tech world. And we have some interviews and we show some videos because after all, it's not just an audio podcast, it's a video podcast. So if you are so inclined, we'd love for you to check it out. And if you could tell one person, if you're already watching, head over to youtube.com/Kim Komando. We're on rumble.com/Kim Komando and X and Facebook. But let me tell you, YouTube's just the easiest place, I think, for you to actually see it. That's youtube.com/Kim Komando. And again, you can get it as an audio podcast wherever you get your podcasts. But I'd love for you to check it out. It's only 30 minutes. Again, that's Kim Komando Today, wherever you get your podcasts. All right, still to come, how you can get real college credits on YouTube and more here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, you know what? I think I want to take a college class, but I just don't want to go over to like MIT or Yale or Berkeley or one of the other online colleges and take free classes for no credits. I actually want to get credits for this in case I do go to college. All right. Arizona State University and YouTube, they've teamed up and you can get real credit for classes. It's the Study Hall channel, and they've got some courses available: human communication, rhetoric and composition, real-world college math, and history. Now, the option to get credit for these courses, you just pay $25 per class, and then you can retake these classes as many times as you want to get the grade that you're after. All the coursework is developed by Arizona State University, so you know it's legit. Again, it's called the Study Hall channel. And just a reminder, great sponsors help to make this show possible. You can get all the links that you need over at komando.com/sponsors. That's komando.com/sponsors.
Thanks for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's Hour 4.
I always like to kick things off with something super fun and interesting. And what kind of a boss do you think Bill Gates is? Okay, here's a fun fact about him. When he first started Microsoft, oh my gosh, it's unbelievable. Bill Gates would actually memorize the license plates of all the vehicles in the parking lot. This way, he could keep tabs on if they made it to work on time or if they were working on the weekends or what was going on. Oh my gosh, talk about a micromanager. But hey, I guess it worked out for him because Microsoft is now worth $3 trillion today. Oh, every time I talk about Microsoft, I'm always thinking about, they are working on software for self-driving cars. Yeah, I can't wait until my car suddenly stops in the middle of the highway and then reboots to just install the updates. Could you imagine? And on that happy note, you're about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing is now a tech thing. I'm Kim Komando, America's digital goddess, and you have tapped into the best, the biggest, the most trusted show about all things digital. And if you're a brand new listener to the Kim Komando Show, welcome aboard. So glad to have you with us. And if you're already a listener, welcome back. You can find my award-winning show on over 420 top radio stations throughout the United States. And you can also find us as a podcast, as a webcast 24/7, whenever you want to watch or stream or just listen over at komando.com. Just hit that button that says Komando Community. Now, if you're listening on the radio, we totally love that. Just a reminder, you can get the Kim Komando Show as a podcast in your favorite podcast player. Just make sure that you search for Kim Komando Show. That's right, not Kim Komando Today, Kim Komando Show. Well, you can get Kim Komando Today, too. You're going to love that. And I know that you have at least a few questions about something digital I can lend a hand to. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And if you're just too dang shy to come on a big-time show and podcast, I get that. You could always drop me your questions over at komando.com. Just hit that button that says Email Kim. Alrighty, then every single day I go to at least 35 different websites to make sure you're up to date on all things digital. And here are the 5 things you need to know that are happening right now in the tech verse. And, not too long ago here on The Big Show, I talked about why artificial intelligence isn't coming for your job anytime soon. So now, it seems like just a week or so later, it's looking more and more like AI for use in businesses has been overhyped and, yes, overpromised. Because here's the newsflash. Despite all the AI hoopla, most businesses that have invested the money and time to integrate AI into their operations, they are saying that they are terribly unimpressed and they are disappointed. They're disappointed because after spending millions of dollars, the best return on their investment is maybe 5%. And get this, most businesses have seen an absolute zero ROI. Now, here's an even greater problem. If implementing AI into your business takes more than a month, it becomes outdated long before anyone can see any benefits. So for AI to be implemented into businesses, 2024 is actually going to be like, show me the money year. And so far, it's not really happening. Moving on to number 2, Netflix just won the streaming wars. What? Prime Video, Peacock, Hulu, Disney Plus, and all the other streamers, they have been waging this costly war for your business. Costly because customers who can no longer afford them all, and costly because the services themselves. And finally, after years of this battle, we have a winner. Even though HBO Max had Succession, which was the biggest show of 2023, Netflix has totally won the streaming wars. It's the one service that we just can't live without. All 250 million of us. Gosh, could you imagine that business? You have 250 million customers. Yikes. The Netflix homepage is the most valuable piece of real estate in Hollywood. They say it's 21st century's version of going to the video store and walking the aisles. They don't offer something for everyone, but they have enough for almost everybody. Moving on to number 3, cyber kidnapping is on the rise. It's frightening thousands and it's stealing millions. Imagine this, your phone rings. It's a familiar number. It's your son, your daughter, your spouse. When you answer, this menacing voice informs you that they've kidnapped your loved one. Want them back? You better send in some money. It gets even worse. You hear your loved one plead with you, please, 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 mom and dad, send the money. You get a photo of them in chains and with duct tape over their mouth. You watch a video of them crying. So, of course, you wire a large sum of money to the kidnappers and you just wait. Hours go by, money's gone, and then you later discover that no one was really ever in danger. The voice was AI generated. That photo and that video was just deep faked. So what do you do if this happens to you? Call your loved one first or find someone who actually check on them, because kidnappers rarely call from the victim's phone. They're using some type of spoofing app. Let's talk about number 4, how your kids are finding online porn. If you've been putting off that conversation about online porn, you need to move up the date. A Common Sense Media survey has found that kids are stumbling across online porn at an earlier and earlier age. 15% say that they saw their first porn online at age 10. The average exposure is now 12. So most parents that live in this dream world saying that, this never happened to my kid. All right, let me tell you, there are just too many paths to porn, and parents, you just can't stay one step ahead. Almost every child has seen porn by the age of 17. They're getting into it through social media. As one care shares what he found with another. They can easily run across it online. So schedule that talk now. And to help out, Get My Kids Tech Contract. It really does help set the rules. And it's totally free. You can find it at commando.com/contract. That's commando.com/contract. And finally, this coming in at number 5, a new tech product that's such a bad idea and it's really just destined to fail. Now, if you get your nails done like I do, you probably have a relationship with your manicurist. Now, done improperly, let me tell you, your nails can become painful. They can get an infection, and then your nails just quite frankly, they're going to look like crap. So enter a new tech AI product. It's called Numble, a $600 home robot manicurist. It's about the size of a shoebox, has this uninspiring beige plastic cover. So here's how it works. You stick your hand inside the box. Yeah, and you can't see inside the box, by the way. So you just put your hand inside this box. And if it works, in 25 minutes per hand, the little robot will fix you right up. Now, before you ask, nope, I haven't tried it. I mean, I'm not going to put my hand in a box that I can't see on the inside. Which reminds me of, yes, Why did the dentist and the manicurist get divorced? Why did the dentist and the manicurist get divorced? You ready for it? Because they fought tooth and nail. Oh, that one hurt even me. All right, coming up, we're going to be talking a little bit about incognito mode and the best TV settings for the big game. Also, how you can buy goods secondhand for cheap on Amazon. And then later on, 5 signs that a hidden GPS trackers in your car. And of course, we have all of your phone calls. And you have me, you don't want to miss, Kim Commando. Hey, if you haven't already entered to win a $1,000 PC or Mac, what the heck are you waiting for? Go now, right now, while you're thinking about it. Commando.com/win. That's commando.com/win, where you can enter to win a brand new $1,000 PC or Mac. Totally your choice. Once again, that's commando.com/win. All right, how about we start with Mank in Scottsdale, Arizona. Hello there, Mank.
Been listening to you a long time for several years, so I'm really happy to be able to talk to you. So thanks for taking my call.
You betcha.
So I'm a physician, and in our practice, I'm a gastroenterologist, and we do colonoscopies as part of our job.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of patients who need to have their colonoscopies need to repeat them every 3, 5, or 10 years, depending on what you find when you do the exam. And we actually had a couple of people leave our practice over the last 2 or 3 years, and I started thinking about their patients that, you tell them in 5 years you need another colonoscopy, but that doctor's now left the practice, and maybe the rest of the doctors don't have enough, bandwidth to take those patients on. So what I was worried about is these patients might get lost and not be able to get their follow-up examinations. So what I was thinking is, in our practice, if we could create a QR code of some sort where we show it to the patient at the end and they scan it with their phone, that, and we use the appropriate one, that if you scan it and it'll put a reminder on your calendar that in 5 years from now you need a colonoscopy, or in 10 years, or in 1 or 3, whatever the situation is, and you would have different QR codes for each recommendation. And I tried to create it online because we've used QR codes for other things, but what I'm running into trouble with is trying to get it for a generic 5-year period. It seems like every time I try to create it, it'll create it for a specific date, but that would mean I would have to create a new QR code every time or every day I work.
Oh, gosh, we don't want to do that.
So I want one that just generically, you scan it today and it finds the 5-year mark from today, and if I do it tomorrow, so on and so forth. So that's kind of the dilemma I was running into, so I was thinking, maybe you might be able to help.
It's a good idea. I mean, it's actually a great idea. And, it's so nice to hear from a doctor who you're really concerned about the patient's well-being. I mean, and because you said, even if they're not coming into our practice, I still want to make sure that they know that they need to get a follow-up, because let's just face it, who wants to get a colonoscopy? No one, right?
Exactly.
He's like, you must be a fun guy at a party, right? I'm just thinking.
I've got stories. So.
I bet you do. See, I like when I go to a party, people ask me how to fix their phone. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Let's talk about some options. But if you still want the QR code, I'm going to enlist the help of an IT genius. Okay.
Okay.
You ever thought about using an email reminder system, like email marketing?
Yeah, we have one of those in the office. We have an email reminder, and then we also have text through our medical record system.
Okay. And then maybe in the patient portal. Are you using Epic or anything? Is there anything that can pop up on that?
We have a portal. We don't use Epic. We use it's a company called Modernizing Medicine. They're based out of Florida, and so for gastros, it's called GMed or G Gastro. Mm-hmm. So it does have reminders and that sort of thing. But, the other thing I'm thinking about is if a practice shuts down or if a practice closes, then that EMR, that data goes away. And then once that practice closes, it's not like those reminders will go out in 5 years. So if the practice shuts down tomorrow, whatever's scheduled for the next 2 to 3 years, don't know how that will ever get out to the people.
Yeah, it's done. Did you use QR Code Monkey, QR Stuff, Go QR? Do you know which one that you used?
I did a bunch of them. I just Googled them all, how to register with my burner email so that, I don't get spam.
Yeah, awesome.
And just messed around with a bunch of them. And Adobe had one. There was one called QR Reader. and I can't remember all the names.
You know what? This is what I'd like to do is that Jeremy and John, they are IT geniuses. Okay. You know how like you have your friends who are like doctors and you're like, whoa, these are really big doctors, right? Okay. I have John and Jeremy, and they are my IT geniuses. Okay. If anybody can figure it out, it's going to be John and Jeremy. Because maybe these QR code sites, maybe they do say like you said, it's one for that day, but we just want to pick like a date 5 years from now or 3 years from now or 7 years or whatever it may be. What I'd like to do is I'm going to put you on hold. I want to make sure that we have all of your details. Okay.
Okay.
And then John and Jeremy they'll figure this out for you. They will. They will figure out how to make this QR code, because I'll tell you, I have never been able to stump these two. Never. Okay. And I think really this requires somebody to sit down and say, okay, which is the best QR code generator? And how do we get it onto, because you want to get it on everybody's calendar, Outlook, Apple, Google, right? Okay.
Right, exactly.
And we want to make sure that they accept that appointment. And there's a few variables in here, but I do think that it's actually possible. We just don't know quite sure the exact steps to do at this time. So again, Meg, let's make sure that we have all your goods. And thanks for your kind words about the show. And I've never talked to a gastroenterologist before on the air, and that was pretty exciting. And thank you for your call. All right. Brenda in Tyler, Texas, you're up next.
Well, I have a question about my iPhone. Every day I get an unusual amount of texts from companies that are relevant. Say, for example, restaurants or businesses not in my area. And I try to unsubscribe, but it doesn't always work. And then some sites say that I have to put in my email address to unsubscribe.
Are you talking about text messages on your phone?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And when I do that, it seems like I get more ads. Like there's one site I visited. It was a craft store, a well-known craft store, and every day I get 2 to 3 texts.
That's annoying.
And yes, it is very annoying.
Have you tried to block it?
That's my question.
Oh, okay. So here's what you do: is on your iPhone, and you are inside the Messages app, is that you open the text message that you want to block. And then you look for the I button, the info button's in the top of the message. And then it's going to have right there, block this call or block this contact, whichever one it is. And then you'll just never, ever get a text from them again. You can also delete it. Now, in the newer, I don't know what kind of phone you have, which iPhone you have, or which iOS that you're running. But now, if you go to delete a text in the trash, it says, do you want to delete? Do you want to delete, or do you want to delete and block? So you can delete and block. Now, there's also another thing that you can do is you open up your settings on your iPhone, that gear icon, and go into messages, and then scroll down, and then tap on filter unknown senders. Filter unknown senders. And then you're going to have one folder of all the messages that aren't in your contacts, and then you can scroll through them from time to time. So try just to delete it, and then see if you get that option that says delete and block. But if not, you can go ahead and filter the unknown senders, or look for that I, as I mentioned, the info button. And then from there, look at details, and then you can just block that caller right there. Just think about this. If only it was that easy to block the bad people out of your life. I'm just going to hit that I right now while I'm looking at you. Boom, gone. Never see you again. Maybe someday. Brenda, thank you for your call. Text messages, spam, so annoying, isn't it? Yes, it'll stop one day. I promise it will. All right, let's switch gears just a tiny bit and let's talk about incognito mode. I mean, would it be all right with you if somebody else just scrolled through your entire search history? I didn't think so. For your most private searches in Chrome, of course, you're going to head right into incognito mode. Now, you may have been under the illusion that if you used incognito, no one was tracking what you were doing. Well, as it turns out, that's not the case. After settling a $5 billion lawsuit, Google wants you to know that its Chrome browser's incognito mode, well, it isn't so private after all. Shocker. Okay, it has a brand new disclaimer. Here's what it says. Others won't see your activity, but websites, including Google, will. Let me read that again to you. Others won't see your activity, but websites, including Google, will. Okay, so that's not really incognito, right? So while incognito mode hides your browsing from others on your device, it does not stop Google and other websites from tracking you. So what can you do? You can always try Safari's private browsing, or you can use DuckDuckGo. My suggestion is always use a VPN. I mean, if you really want to cover your digital tracks online, you want to always be sure to use a VPN. And of course, we always recommend expressvpn.com/Kim. All right, still to come, getting ready for the big game. Well, what are the best TV settings? I'm going to pass that along. And how'd you like to save some money buying goods secondhand on Amazon? I've got the scoop on that. And we have more of your phone calls here on the Kim Komando Show.
This radio program is a copyrighted production of Westar Multimedia Entertainment and protected by the copyright laws. Any rebroadcast or use of this program for commercial, business, economic, or financial purposes without the written permission of Westar Multimedia Entertainment is strictly prohibited.
Hey, before we dive back into all of your phone calls, let's talk about the best TV settings for the big game. Because let's say you have that shiny new TV and you turn it on. Oh, but the picture's horrible. And you're like, what is this? Did I just get like a defective television? Nah, it's probably that your TV set isn't calibrated for your home's lighting. And this is a pretty simple fix. What you want to do is head right into your TV's display presets. Now, there you're going to find various settings like vivid, film, standard, and sport. So what you want to do is try cycling through each and every one of them to see which one that you like the best. Now, another way, use your eyes, okay? This, well, if you're not that handy, don't do this because you can really mess things up. But you can always go back to factory defaults. But you can take control in your picture settings. That's where you're going to find things like contrast, hue, brightness, sharpness, and color temperature. And you want to adjust them to your preference. And finally, the TV pros, the AV guys and gals, they use calibration DVDs. It walks you through each and every one of these settings. Now, thankfully, you don't have to have a DVD player anymore because, well, quite frankly, who has those anymore? Is that there are calibration apps for your phones and for your TVs. Here are some names for you to check out. THX TuneUp, CalMan, and Spectra CalMan. Now, if you're just like, what were those again, Kim? I missed them. Just go ahead and hit my website, komando.com. All right, before we go back to all of your phone calls, just want to tell you in just a few minutes, we're going to talk about how you can buy goods secondhand for cheap on Amazon. And then later on, 5 signs that a hidden tracker is on your car. And Satish in Allentown, Pennsylvania, welcome.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
Well, I had a question regarding VHS cassettes and DVCs.
Okay.
So I have a lot of recording of kids' videos and other things. Now they are in VHS tape and later on the DVCs, digital video cassettes.
Sure.
And I'm trying to find a tool or any hardware software gadget that I can quickly transfer them and get them digitized. So first I'm looking for something to digitize those things, then store on a thumb drive or in cloud, and then I'm looking for a easy to use video editor so that I can take out some videos or put some chapters and things like that.
Wow, you need the whole shebango, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, there are services that will do this, but that could add up pretty quickly. How many tapes do you think you have and cassettes and everything?
I've got about 30 to 40.
Of VHS, and then do you have DVDs too?
Yeah, and DVDs, I can convert DVDs separately. That's not a big issue. But the small DVCs, like the one which I recorded on my a camcorder.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, the good news is that it's really, this is really simple solutions now to put all this together. Like for example, you can hook your a VHS player up to a gadget that will actually plug into your computer. You can plug your camcorder now into a gadget in the middle of the whole mix, and then that'll be connected to your computer. And then as far as software goes, I mean, there's always Adobe Premiere, which is a really good program, and it's easy to use. And there's also Cyberlink Power Director. And if you have any audio that you want to clean up along the way, Audacity, that's Audacity. You know what I'd like to do, Satish, if this is okay with you, is I'd like to write this up as a tip.
Okay.
So that this way I can kind of point you in a direction for, because I know so many people have this question. I'm so glad that you call. Seriously. Because everybody has like these old VHS tapes and the high 8 tapes or whatever it may be. And it's like, okay, well, now what do I do with all these? Because I want to get these memories to the kids. And one of the things that's really great is after you capture all this content and after you edit it, like you mentioned, put it on a thumb drive. No, Satish, that is not allowed. Okay. Okay. We're not doing that. Okay. I'm going to come to Allentown. I'm going to knock on your door and say, no. Okay. We're not doing that. Okay. What you do is you create a private YouTube channel.
Okay.
And so this way, all the videos are stored in the cloud. And then you can share that link out with the kids, but it's not public, so other people can't see it. Mm-hmm. But then they always have a copy of it, and they can download it, they can share it with their friends, and it's really fun. It is, because I did that with some of my mother's old VHS tapes, and we shared it out with all the cousins and the grandkids and the great-grand. And so everybody's like, oh my gosh, look at Granny when she was so young, type of thing. It's really fun stuff. And of course, you can always store it in the cloud too, but I just I don't trust a thumb drive. So do you already get our free newsletter?
Yes, I do.
Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to make this a tip. How about for this Saturday? I'll make it a tip in the newsletter about how to capture all your video and analog sources and get them into your computer the easy way, the fun way. And then here's the software that you use, and then how to create that YouTube channel. And so it's all written step by step because, it's such an important topic. It is such an important topic. And I know that will help a ton of people. And Satish, thank you for your call today. Just want to keep in mind those VHS tapes, while they're just sitting there in a box, they are totally degrading. And so you really, really, truly need to make sure that you're going to take some action on that. Now, I've seen some stats where they say VHS tapes will last 25 years, but if your luck is like mine, probably not. All right. Let's say you really want to buy that expensive coffee maker, but it's like $1,000. Well, you can find a refurbished one online, but should you really buy it? Okay. What I want you to do is to first go over to Amazon before you start looking on OfferUp or Craigslist or eBay or anything like that. Amazon has a section, it's kind of tucked away, called Amazon Renewed. It claims refurbished products at low prices, but here's the deal. They're all guaranteed for at least 90 days. So what you want to do is go to amazon.com/renewed. There you're going to find all kinds of things, appliances and phones and laptops and headsets at a discount. Now, you don't know the full history of a refurbed product. So like anything else, it could be described as like new when it really isn't. So just make sure that you know the return window before purchasing. Again, that address is amazon.com/renewed. All right, coming up, we have more of your great phone calls that you don't want to miss, as well as later on, 5 signs that a hidden GPS tracker is on your car. You're on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, if you haven't checked out my new daily podcast, Kim Komando Today, you are so missing out. Every single day, 10:30 a.m. on the West Coast, which is 1:30 p.m. on the East Coast, wherever you get your videos, whether it's YouTube, Rumble, X, or Facebook, or Twitch, just look up Kim Komando Today. Go to my channel, and then you can watch us actually do a podcast every single day. It's tech news at its finest, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. Again, that's Kim Komando Today. We're streaming live and on demand in your favorite video player. All right, Lynn in Kansas City, Missouri.
Well, my boyfriend has 7 kids and 9 grandkids so far, and he takes a lot of pictures and videos. And, of course, he's using his phone to do that, and he has an iPhone. And it gets full. then he has to move the files to a laptop. And he's got 2 laptops full of pictures.
Wow.
And and it makes it hard to use a laptop when it's full of pictures and videos. So what I was wondering is there an external device? He hates the cloud. He hates anything where somebody else might have access to his children's pictures. So I've suggested some pay for storage online virtually, but he doesn't want to do that.
Okay.
So I was looking for a device that he could tether to his iPhone and move the pictures to that, and then when he was ready to make a collage or a slideshow or whatever, he could tether that device to a laptop and go ahead and make that file.
Well,
does that exist?
You know what? You're on the right path. You are. You're on the right path.
Okay.
On your iPhone, there are maybe 2 or 3 different ways that you can accomplish this. Okay.
Okay.
The first way is that you can connect a flash drive, basically a thumb drive, they call them, flash drives, into the lightning port on the phone. And then you can transfer all the pictures off of the phone to the flash drive. And then from the flash drive, you can connect it someplace else or computer or whatever it may be. Okay. I'm not a big fan of those because it is a thumb drive. It's a flash drive. And I don't know how many, you might have laying around, but I do. I'm like, I don't remember it was in that. And then, you lose them, you drop them, they break. And then, let's say, God forbid, that he takes all the pictures, he puts them on a thumb drive, and then the drive dies. And guess who's to blame, Lynn? You.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Exactly.
We don't want that. And because he has so many pictures, if you're looking at, say, a 256 gig drive, SanDisk makes one, it's about $60. Okay. But he's going to need a lot more than that for everything that you are saying, because it's not like he just is going to stop taking pictures and that's going to be the end of it. So what we're going to be looking for is really an external hard drive that can work on Wi-Fi, that he can put an app on his phone. And then the app, then he can transfer pictures from his phone to the hard drive by using the app over Wi-Fi. Okay. So we're not going to be plugging anything in. And then because it's an external hard drive, an SSD drive, is that it's going to be fast. And then we're also going to be able to get some really serious storage space. Okay. And so here what we're looking for is a 2 terabyte drive.
Okay.
That's super fast. That allows him to get on it by using his PC or his phone. And it can just sit there. And at some point, might want to explain to him that he probably does need to back up this drive somewhere. Okay. In the cloud, because hard drives, they have a mean time between failure, just like our bodies do. Okay. So we want to make sure that it's all backed up in the cloud. But when you're looking at something like this, a portable external SSD is Wi-Fi, works with Wi-Fi rather, and apps. It does have point-to-point encryption, so he's going to like that security. And I'm going to send you over, I put you on hold, we're going to send you a link to this particular product on Amazon. It's about $165, $170. But this way it will just, it's a solid state drive. But because it's a solid state drive, is that it has really fast transfer rates, and it can give you large storage options. And so with those transfer rates, when he's sitting there transferring photos, no longer is he going to be like, sorry, honey, we can't go out because I'm still transferring photos and videos from my phone to my drive. No, it's not going to happen that way. So, fortunately, these gadgets do exist and it can make life a lot easier. But yes, I just want to leave you at one thought is that do make sure that he does back it up to some type of cloud account so that this way, in case something does happen to that drive, that he doesn't lose all his photos, because he sounds like that he'd really be really devastated if that were to happen. So, Lynn, hang on the line. I'll be happy to send you out that link, share shortly. Yeah, that's always a problem if you don't want to use cloud storage, that's for sure. All right, let's see. Daryl in Lubbock, Texas, you're up next.
I've got 2 issues that I have no idea how to solve. I've got a barn that's full of livestock that I need to get a security camera to, and it's about a quarter mile away from the house. Mm-hmm. The second problem is I've got a remote house that's in another city that I need to get a security camera on, which doesn't have internet or anything of that nature. It's also in a remote West Texas remote area.
Okay.
Any ideas how to solve those two issues for me?
Well, you have come to the right place, my man. Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Boy, so you're like the remote guy, aren't you?
Yeah, we're in the middle of a sand pit.
Are you? So how many people live in your community?
About 5,000.
Oh, okay. So everybody knows everybody's business, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
I like the way you say that. Yes, ma'am. They sure do. They sure do. Well, I'll tell you, here's the deal, is that there are some really good security cams that are solar powered. And instead of using Wi-Fi, they're going to use 4G connections. So these are really good for when you start talking about remote areas and, without any type of computer access, Wi-Fi, things like that. The one that we like to recommend is made by a company called Reo Link, R-E-O Link. And it has 360 pan, tilt, and solar, and it saves it all on a card. It's got night vision, has smart AI detection, good things like that. So what I'm going to do, Daryl, is to make sure that you get the right one. I'm going to put you on hold, and then Jeremy's going to pick you up, and then when he does, he's going to give you that link on Amazon so that this way you can make sure that's the right one. It's made by a company called Reo Link, but they make all kinds of security cameras. But I like this one because it's sturdy. It does great pan and tilt, and it has smart motion detection and alerts via cellular, and it's a pretty darn good little gadget there. Daryl, thank you for your call. All righty then, coming right back, we have 5 signs that a hidden GPS tracker is on your car here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, before we start talking about the hidden GPS tracker, let me just explain a couple of things to you. Number one, so we got a lot of things happening at the Kim Komando Show Radio Ranch. Like number one, we're giving away a $1,000 PC or Mac right now. And I'd love to go ahead and call you and say, you're the winner. But I can't call and tell you that you're the winner if you don't enter to win. See how that works? So head to komando.com/win. That's komando.com/win. And then that's how you enter to win that brand new $1,000 PC or Mac. And I mentioned already just quickly that we are now doing a live video podcast, and it's been going for a couple of weeks now. It's going like gangbusters. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. And you guys and gals are going to totally dig it. So wherever you get and watch your videos, where you stream them, whether it's on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook or X or Twitch, just search for the Kim Komando channel, and that's where you're going to see Kim Komando today. It's a heck of a lot of fun. It's me and Ali Seligman, our content queen, as well as Andrew Babinski. He's my co-host. And again, it's really sweet. All right, now let's talk about some signs that there could be a tracker on your car. Number one, if you hear any unusual buzzing, chirping, or beeping sounds, that tracker could be transmitting data. Now, you also want to be on the lookout for any loose wires. They could be connected to a battery-powered tracker hidden underneath the hood or maybe in the glove compartment. Number 3, watch out for any magnets or metal objects stuck to the outside of your car, especially underside of the vehicle. 4 is your car's battery life. If you notice a sudden drop, a tracker could be using it, causing battery drain. And finally, you get alert from your iPhone about an unknown Apple AirTag. If you're on Android, make sure that you get the detection app from the Google Play Store. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, I'm always at komando.com.